Alternating Currents, class number 6. In this class, I have discussed power in AC circuits. In this topic, I have covered following subtopics: instantaneous power, average power in one complete cycle, average power consumed in LR or RC or LC circuit, and finally, questions related to the topic. Hello students, good morning. Welcome to all in my new class. We are discussing a series of classes related to chapter alternating current. We have discussed so many topics related to alternating current. Again, I am revising these topics. We have discussed how resistor, inductor, capacitor behaves in AC. We have also discussed LCR series circuit and the phenomena of resonance. Now, in this class, I am going to discuss power in AC circuit. Power in AC circuits. First of all, what is meant by power that I am discussing here, that you know very well from class 11th. We know that W work in electricity or work done in moving a charge in the presence of electric field is given by W equals to QB. Work done is known as W equals to QB, or we can say charge into potential is the work done. And that is also clear from the definition of potential, V equals to W by T. But when we have to write power in current, it means work done per unit time in maintaining the current through the circuit is defined as power. Work done per unit time in maintaining the current through the circuit, or we can say energy consumed per unit time, is defined as power. Therefore, it can be written as W by T. And therefore, we can also write QB by T. And since Q by T is I, therefore, power can be written as P equals to V. And I think this formula you all have used in chapter current electricity. In current electricity, there are so many questions related to power. But as I have discussed earlier that before this alternating current chapter, we have discussed mostly the currents which are direct current, or we can say DC. And generally we know that the value of DC is constant and there is no change in polarity of the DC, and generally we use this formula P equals to VI. But we know that in the case of alternating current, the voltage and current both are changing with time continuously. Therefore, if we write the formula for power P equals to VI in alternating currents, then it will give the instantaneous power of circuit at that instant. If V is the value of voltage and I is the value of current at any instant, then power at that instant or instantaneous power is given by P equals to VI. So we are going to discuss this chapter. We will start, or we will discuss this topic from the formula P equals to VI. So that is the previous knowledge, so that you can easily recall that. Now especially we are talking about power in AC circuits. In AC circuits, we are having different type of circuits that we have also discussed, or that we also know. For example, a pure resistor, it may be a pure capacitor, it may be a pure inductor, it may be series LCR circuit, it may be a combination of inductor and capacitor only, it may be RC circuit, it may be LR circuit. Let us suppose here we don't know which type of circuit is this. We have not considered LCR series circuit, we have not considered LR circuit, we have considered a general circuit which may contain L or R or C, whatever it is. Let at any instant V equals to V naught sin omega t. We have considered an AC circuit. In that circuit, V equals to V naught sin omega t, and I equals to I naught sin omega t instant of time, let at any instant at any instant of time v equals to v naught sin omega t and I equals to I naught sin omega t plus phi, where phi is the phase difference. Phi is the phase difference, and if we consider only inductor, then this phase difference will be minus pi by 2. If we consider only capacitor, then this phase difference is plus pi by 2. If we consider only resistor, then this phase difference will be 0. And if we consider LCR circuit or LR circuit or RC circuit, then it may have different values. So here we are going to find out a general formula of power or general expression for power. V equals to V naught sin omega t, I equals to I naught sin omega t plus phi. These are the instantaneous values. These are the instantaneous values of voltage and current in an AC circuit respectively. Therefore, power at that instant, we have considered V equals to V naught sin omega t, I equals to I naught sin omega t plus phi. Then power at that instant, or that is known as instantaneous power, is given by P equals to VI. Instantaneous power is given by P equals to VI. Now we can put the values of V and I. V equals to V naught sin omega t and I equals to I naught sin omega t plus phi. This is the instantaneous values of power in AC circuit. Now we can slightly change this expression. P equals to this V naught and I naught, both are constant values. We can write in left side V naught I naught. Here it is sin omega t, no change. This is sin omega. Now this term we have to expand. This term we can expand by using a simple relation of trigonometry. What is that relation? I am writing here. Since sin A plus B formula, I think you all know very well this formula. Sin A plus B, it can be written as sin A cos B plus cos A sin B. Here we are using this formula, sin A plus B equals to sin A cos B plus cos A sin B. Therefore, sin, this become A, this become B. Therefore, we write sin omega t cos phi plus cos omega t sin phi. So, by using this relation of trigonometry, we have expanded this term. Sin omega t plus phi can be written as sin omega t cos phi plus cos omega t sin phi. And now instantaneous power become, now we can multiply this term by this term. So here we get V naught, I naught, these are two constant terms, and this phase difference phi is also constant for a particular AC circuit. Therefore we can also write here cos phi. And now this is sin omega t, here it is sin omega t, it becomes sin square omega. This is sin square omega. Similarly, the second term becomes V naught I naught, constant term, I am writing in left side, V naught I naught. V naught I naught sin omega t, this is variable term. Cos omega t, this is also variable term with time. But sin phi, this is also constant. Therefore, V naught I naught sin phi. And here we can write sin omega t cos omega t. This term is sin omega t into cos omega t, that I am writing here in bracket. Sin omega t and then cos omega. V naught I naught cos phi sin square omega t plus V naught I naught sin phi sin omega t cos omega. Now again we have to use one relation of trigonometry. Since sin 2a or sin 2 theta can be written as 2 sin a There is one relation. Sine 2a can be written as 2 sine a cos a. This formula you have also used when we discuss projectile motion in class 11. I am giving this example so that you can easily recall the expression for horizontal range. Then you can remember what is sine 2 theta. So sine 2a equals to 2 sine a cos a. Here we are going to use sine omega t cos omega t. We are going to use this formula here. So if we multiply this term by 2 and divide by this term by 2, then it will become 2 sine omega t cos omega t. Therefore, what we are doing, here we are dividing by 2, or here we can multiply by 2. In this side, here we can multiply by 2. Therefore, this term will become 2 sine omega t cos omega, and this 2 will be cancelled out by this 2. So now this term can be written as sine 2 omega t. I am writing the expression here. These are the instantaneous values. Again, I am revising this. Instantaneous values of voltage and current. This is instantaneous power, and we are solving this expression. Now it can be written as P equals to V naught I naught cos phi sine square omega t, plus the second term can be written as V naught I naught by 2 sine phi and sine 2 omega t. This formula we have used, sine 2 theta equals to 2 sine theta cos theta. We have used this here. This is the instantaneous power. We can write question number 3. This is the value of power at any instant of time, or we can say this is the instantaneous value of power or value of power at any instant of time, and it consists of two terms. Now generally we have to find out average value of power for one complete cycle. Therefore P average, therefore P average, or we can write this like a P average, or we can also use this symbol for timed average. P average for one complete cycle. P average for one complete cycle, that is time t equals to 0 to t equals to t, can be written as P average equals to. Since here we are finding out timed average, therefore these three quantities are independent of time. They will remain as it is. There will be no effect of average. V naught I naught cos phi, and we have to take the average of sine square omega t for one complete cycle, and this we can write like this: sine square omega t average value for one complete cycle. Similarly, the second term I am writing here, V naught I naught by 2 sine phi and average value of sine 2 omega t for one complete cycle. Now you can use these two relations directly. Although we can solve these two integrations that we have already solved in the expression of RMS current and average value, but here no need to solve this integration again. Directly we can use the value average value of sine square omega t for one complete cycle. Average value of sine square omega t for one complete cycle can be written as 1 by t. We are not solving, I am directly writing the value 1 by t. We have already solved this type of integration. 1 by t integration 0 to t and sine square omega t dt. And if we solve this integration, no need to solve this, but we get the value half. It means you can directly remember the value of sine square theta averaged over one complete cycle is half. Value of sine square theta averaged over one complete cycle is half, or we can say average value of sine square theta for one complete cycle is half. And similarly, if we use this type of expression directly, we can write average value of sine 2 omega t. Average value of sine 2 omega t, sine 3 omega t, sine 4 omega t, or directly we can say sine omega t will be 0. Average value of sine theta or cos theta for one complete cycle is 0. Therefore, we are using these two values directly. Here we have to use the value half, here we have to use the value 0. Therefore, P average become V naught I naught cos phi, V naught I naught cos phi into half plus 0. V naught I naught cos phi into half plus 0. That is the average value of power for one complete cycle. And now we can also modify this relation slightly. P average can be written as V naught. This 2 can be divided in two factors, root 2 and root 2. Therefore, I am writing here V naught by root 2, I naught by root 2 and cos phi. V naught by root 2, I naught by root 2, cos phi. Or that we can write, since we know that this is RMS value, therefore V RMS I RMS cos phi. This is the value of power. Average power consumed per cycle is P average equals to V RMS I RMS cos phi. This is a very important relation, and depending upon this relation, there are so many questions. So this is the average value of power for one complete cycle, that is P average equals to V RMS I RMS cos phi. Now we are considering different cases. For a pure resistor, phi equals to 0. For a pure resistor, phi equals to 0. Therefore, P average will be V RMS I RMS cos 0, and cos 0 will become 1. Therefore, V RMS. It means a resistor consume maximum power, and that is V RMS I RMS. Or we can say power consumed by a pure resistor is V RMS I RMS. But interestingly, we will note that in the case of inductor and capacitor, there will be no power loss. Why? For a pure capacitor or inductor, I am taking both the cases directly. For a pure capacitor or inductor, we know that for a pure capacitor, phi equals to pi by 2. For a pure inductor, phi equals to minus pi by 2. But we know that either we write cos pi by 2 or we write cos minus pi by 2. In both the cases, the value of cos phi will be 0, and therefore P average will be equals to V RMS I RMS cos phi. V RMS I RMS cos phi, or that can be written as 0 because phi equals to pi by 2. Here phi equals to minus pi by 2. Total becomes 0. So P average equals to V RMS I RMS cos phi. The final answer becomes 0. It means capacitor and inductor consumed no power, or there is no power loss in the case of pure capacitor or pure inductor. Now if we consider a series LCR circuit, or series LCR circuit, if we consider series LCR circuit, for a series LCR circuit, phi is not 0. For a series LCR circuit, phi is not 0. Therefore, P average can be written as Vrms Irms cos phi. Now we have to find out the value of cos phi for series LCR circuit, and it can be found out by using a very simple trick that is known as impedance triangle. I am drawing a triangle here, and by using that triangle you can find out 2-3 relations directly. This triangle is known as impedance triangle. On this side, this triangle is related to the phasor diagram of series LCR circuit. If you recall that phasor diagram, you can easily understand this side is denoted by VR, voltage across R. This side is denoted by VL minus VC. And we have derived tan phi from this triangle. This VR can be represented only by R, because current will be cancelled out when we divide or when we take the ratio of any two sides of triangle. Current will be cancelled out. Therefore, this side directly we can represent by R. This side directly we can represent by XL minus XC. And this is phi. You can recall from the phasor diagram of series LCR circuit. This is phi. And I think you all are understanding, you can recall, we have written tan phi, that is XL minus XC by R. I think you all can recall that tan phi we have written XL minus XC by R. So by using this triangle we can also write cos phi. Since this is R, this is XL minus XC, therefore this side is Z. Or that we can write. Now you can also remember, this is the trick to remember the formula for impedance Z. Here it is R, here it is XL minus XC. This is right angle triangle, therefore Z will become R square plus XL minus XC. So by using this impedance triangle, you can revise, or you can remember, or you can learn the value of tan phi, the value of cos phi, and the value of impedance of series LCR. Therefore, from this triangle we can write cos phi as R by Z. Cos phi as R by Z. Therefore, here we can write Vrms Irms, and you can also write R by Z. So by using this formula, we can find out power. P average equals to Vrms Irms into R by Z, because here cos phi become R by Z. So such type of questions are generally asked in CBSE as well as competitive exams. This is case number 3. Now if we are having LR circuit, LR circuit means here it is inductor and here it is resistor, and both are connected with an alternating source of EMF. This type of circuit is known as LR circuit. So if we have to write the power consumed over one complete cycle for LR circuit, what we write? P average, Vrms as it is, Irms as it is. We have to write cos phi for this LR circuit. Now it is very easy. If it is LR circuit, then diagram will remain same, only the capacitance effect will be 0. It means whenever you get XC or term related to C, that will be deleted from that, or that will be emitted out. XL R, we can remove this term, then what we get? Only R and XL. And in that case, for LR circuit, Z will be equals to R square plus not XL minus XC, because XC will be 0. There is no capacitor. XC is 0. Therefore, it will be R square plus XL square. And now we can put the value cos phi. Cos phi is R by Z. From this triangle, it is very clear. Cos phi is R by Z. Here Z will become this. Therefore, R upon root over R square plus XL Vrms, Irms, cos phi, R by Z, R square plus XL. So this is what about the power consumed in LR circuit. Now, last we can consider power consumed in LC circuit. Power consumed in LC circuit. Since it is LC circuit, it means there is no term of R. So directly we can write the value of Z for LC circuit as R square. For LC circuit, R square plus XL minus XC whole square. Since there is no term of R, therefore R will be 0 and finally Z will be only XL minus XC. In the case of LC circuit, effective impedance will be XL minus XC, or we can say difference of inductive reactance and capacitive reactance, and R is 0. Therefore, if we write average power P average, that is equals to Vrms, Irms and cos phi. Just we have seen that the formula of cos phi is R by Z. Here R is 0. Therefore, 0 divided by Z, that is 0. Hence, the average power consumed is. So, by using these relations, we can find out average power consumed in any circuit. If the circuit is completely inductive or completely capacitive, then power consumed will be 0. So, we are solving 2-3 questions. R equals to 10 ohm in a circuit, it is given R equals to 10 ohm and V equals to 100 sin 314t. R equals to 10 ohm, V equals to 100 sin 314t. We have to find out average power consumed over one complete cycle. This is the question. R equals to 10 ohm, V equals to 100 sin 314t. We have to find out average power consumed in one complete cycle. We know that for resistor, phi is 0. For resistor, phi is 0. Therefore, cos phi will be 1, and hence P average can be written as Vrms IR. We can write Vrms IRms, or we can write V naught by root 2, or we can say I naught by root 2. So we can say V naught I naught by 2. Vrms Irms equals to V naught I naught by 2, and I naught can be written as V naught by R. So V naught by 2 into I naught by R. V naught by R. V naught I naught by 2. V naught by 2 as it is, and I naught can be written as V naught by R by using Ohm's law. It means the formula becomes V naught square by 2R. So we have to pay attention. If the circuit is of DC, directly you have used the formula P equals to V square by R. But here we have to be cautious. P average will be V naught square by 2R. But what is V naught here? V naught is the peak value. If we write peak value, then it is V naught square by 2R. Now V naught square, this is peak value. This is peak value, V naught equals to 100. And then we can put the value and finally we can solve it. Here V naught is 100. Therefore 100 square divided by 2 into 10. Or that we can write it 100 into 100 divided by 20, or that we can write it 500. So that average power we can calculate like this. In the case of DC, directly we can use formula P equals to V square by R, because in that case the value of voltage is constant. But in the case of alternating circuit, the value of voltage is variable. Therefore, either we have to use the formula in the form of RMS value or in the form of peak value. Here it is Vrms, Irms. We know that it is V naught by root 2. This is I naught by root 2. It can be written as V naught I naught by 2. This V naught by 2 can be taken inside. I naught, that can be written as V naught by R. And finally it becomes V naught square by 2R. This is the peak value, that is 100. We can put the value and finally we can solve it. So this is the question related to power consumed in resistor. Now I am considering second question. I think you all are understanding this question. Question number 2. There is one inductor of inductance 10 millihenry. There is one inductor of inductance 10 millihenry, and it is connected to V equals to 311 sine 314t. 311 sine 314t. You have to find out average power consumed over one complete cycle. If we see this is inductor. Inductor is connected with alternating source of EMF. You need not to calculate. The answer is very easy. You need not to calculate. The answer is very easy, because P average equals to V naught I naught cos pi. You need not to solve this question, because in the case of inductor, phi equals to pi by 2, and directly we can write the answer 0, because inductor consumed no power. Inductor consumed no power, therefore P average will be equals to 0. Third question. There is one series LCR circuit. Series LCR circuit. What is phase difference at resonance? The question is that in series LCR circuit, what is phase difference phi at resonance? What is phase difference at resonance? The solution will be like this. Since we know that phase difference is tan phi, that is for series LCR circuit, and that is XL minus XC by R. And we know that resonance is the situation at which inductive reactance and capacitive reactance both are having same value, therefore it will become 0. Therefore, at resonance, phase difference phi is 0. Since tan phi is 0, therefore phase difference phi will be also 0. And since phi is 0, therefore if we have to find out average power at resonance, it will be only Vrms IR, and cos 0 will become 1. It means at resonance, power consumed will be given by P average equals to Vrms IR. So this is what about power consumed in AC circuits. Here we have derived one formula for average power consumed in AC circuit, that is P average equals to Vrms IRms cos.